All right, what's going on, everybody? This is the Eric Barber here, and today I'm back with another interview. And today I'm with Mikey Eckstein of Embarco Entertainment. How are we doing today?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking. So we are at CreatorCon Detroit 2024. What brings you out here today?
Supporting friends and helping. See what's going on in the community and
Yep.
and supporting everything that my boy Robert Courtney's got going on.
Okay, word. And let's go hop into what you're doing. Because every time I see you on Instagram, it always seems like something crazy. So, I mean, if you can even describe for the audience what you do exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's always the question. I still try to figure that out. I just kind of make shit happen. I started doing the entertainment stuff when I was a teenager and kind of never looked back and just learned how to put connections together and
Yep.
make something happen out of nothing. And it kind of stemmed from music management and promoting events and concerts and artists and yeah.
Okay, word. And I know you've had a huge impact on Detroit hip hop because I've seen you talk about like Proof and all of the big acts of the '90s, that kind of thing. Really, how do you think the hip hop landscape has changed in the city of Detroit?
Well, just like everything changes, and
Yeah.
it's a totally different era. But I think it's Detroit's in a wonderful place right now with artists coming out of Detroit is like it just keeps going and going, and they just keep getting bigger and bigger, and I love seeing that, because it went, there was a period where there wasn't a lot of light on Detroit.
Yeah.
We've always had the talent, whether it was music, arts, acting, and all of that, and even with the Tubies and the other outlets now for folks to get their art and their craft out has been great, And one of my clients, one of my artist partners, dear friends for life, Trick, really kind of helped pave the road for a lot of these artists right now with his No Fly Zone movement, and it was sometimes taken out of context as like a bully move or some shit like that, but it was purely when labels and artists and stuff were coming to Detroit, getting Detroit money, getting Detroit play and all of that, but the labels, the radio stations weren't fucking with Detroit artists.
Yep.
And I think there was one particular situation where he asked to get a couple of his guys onto a show, and then the program director was like, they can pay to be on the show, and he was like, no, you ain't charging Detroit motherfuckers to be on a Detroit show.
Yep.
You're not charging us to do interviews, so that's when he kind of really put the foot down. And now, I mean, and shout out to my boy Helava, who's remained. I was with him last night. Very humble, very chill, but really also paved the road for these Detroit artists. And he still continues to work with unsigned artists to develop relationships and music with people. And that brother hasn't changed a bit,
No doubt, man. And something that I find really impressive about your catalog is that, a lot of Detroit music, like people say, had a fundamental shift, with the death of Dilla and Proof in 2005. And, some people say that, it even turned, like, the music of today sounds way different from before, but you've still somehow managed to remain consistent and relevant. Like, like the Sada Babies, the Polo Frost, etc. I mean, how have you been able to remain such a key figure as things change?
You just got to learn to adapt with what the times brings you. What is it? 2024. In 2004, D12 released their second album. We streaming wasn't even a thought.
Yep.
Instagram, Facebook, all that, like all of that, Twitter, Twitch, So you just kind of got to learn to adapt and keep up with the times. Luckily I have a bright 13-year-old that's really got his ear to the streets, and keeps me keeps me updated on what's going on. But a lot of these guys, the younger cats, Sadas and Skillas and stuff like that, they'll come to me for some help and advice as they're getting to the next level of touring, bigger venues, kind of showing them a bit of the ropes on how things work, whether it may be simple things as insurance for shows or ticket scaling or, touring and that type of thing. So
No doubt. And your son, Mikey Jr., I see like on pretty much all the events that you go to, he's there too. And he's always present, even for those late night shows. I have to wonder, like, is he kind of being built up to kind of do what you do with the the promoting and all that stuff?
Sure. Well, he's kind of, I have two kids. My daughter is not at all about, she does not care. She doesn't care. And it's great. I'm glad my beautiful daughter is not all about being backstage and all of that. Like literally I had to bring him to a show a few years ago, and my old production manager was Chris Brown's production manager, and we walked by the dressing room and he was like, "Oh, hey, Chris is here. He wants to meet you guys." He's like, "I told him I have some special friends here," and she's like, "Who?" I said, "Chris Brown." She was like, "Oh, I'm straight. They just made new brownies and catering."
Yeah.
And then she laughed at me one time when I asked the kids if they wanted to go bowling, and I told them that Flavor Flav was going, and she didn't even say anything to me. She just laughed. Started calling her friends and said, "My dad has a friend who's a grown-ass man, and he wears sunglasses inside and a fucking plastic clock, and he thinks I'm gonna go in public with him." So shout out to my daughter. She truly doesn't care, but my son just loves it. Sports, music, entertainment. Like he's the Red Wing players used to call him Rain Man when he was probably 7 or 8 years old, 6, 7, 8, because he would just retain stats and
awesome.
And so he's got a natural passion for it, and he knows what he's talking about. So it's kind of both. That's what he wants to do, and he's got equity in the hip hop app that I'm partners in.
Oh wow.
Called Headlights HipHop, which is a dope platform for up-and-coming artists. We're really turning it into something cool. So any artists that are looking to be seen, to get recognition, go download the Headlights Hip Hop app. But yeah, my son is he's very involved with that. And so you mentioned him being out late at events and stuff. It's kind of a teeter-totter as being a father, and making sure that he's involved with his, events or with activities with his peers and stuff. So sure. we have to have a heart-to-heart and agreements, and that if it's a school night or if you have other stuff that you need to do, that you're going to follow through and do that, or else you're not going to be doing these. And there's been several that he's had to sit out because he didn't live up to his, but but he's a kid, and I'm proud to be his father.
That's awesome. And as I kind of navigate the Detroit hip hop scene, I kind of find that a lot of people in Detroit hip hop kind of knows everyone else in Detroit hip hop, but when someone from out of town, like last night, Killer Mike was in town. And you had to link up for that, like a lot of other artists, like I've seen like Ice Cube, etc.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, how do you kind of break out? Sometimes it seems like there's a Detroit mold, and like you can kind of be stuck in the rut of just Detroit. How have you really seen other artists and yourself been able to break out of that mold?
Well, I mean, again, it's all about networking too. Being kind of a host or a staple in your city. Somebody might say, "Hey, so and so's coming through," or a label or an A&R, and you extend that warm welcome and host vibe So then when you have an artist, or maybe you go to Houston or you go to New York or
Yep.
whatever, people return the favor, you know? So
Yeah.
you got to just really keep your network. And, you know, relationships are 90% of what makes this world go around,
Yeah.
let alone this
Yeah.
industry, you know, and doing little things to just show that, you know, you care about somebody, like not just
Yeah.
call somebody when you want something.
Yep.
You know, my favorite phrases is it's always a two-way street.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, you know, and you look out for people. You know,
Yep.
I'll give one example. For years, I had a major endorsement for my artists from a major brand. I'm not going to say any names or anything,
Yep.
but like, their office was based out of a small town, and every year I would have like my assistant call his office and say, where did
Yep.
he like to eat? Where did he like to go this year?
Yeah.
And then we'd get a gift card, you know, like $100 gift card, and send it to him with a nice note at the end of the year.
Yep.
And that meant so much to him, just little things. But we got hundreds of thousands of dollars of product a year, but it was just those little things that
Yep.
that, you know, let people know that you care about them and you're paying attention, and you know, it's not just a handout.
Yep, there you go. And you know what? I'll say Mikey really practices what he preaches. We're at CreatorCon actually. This is the second day. First day, I mean, I say what's up to him, and he's already having me meet the right people, all that stuff, which, you know, you didn't have to do that. So I do appreciate that for sure, man.
Of course.
You know, he definitely hooked me up. So I know that's like kind of the essence of it. Even I forget who said it, but like someone said like every day you should try to like marry up two people, right? Like if someone does something and someone else would benefit, introduce those people. And I feel like that's kind of your motif, right?
IMO, yeah, for sure. I mean, I've got like, you know, I have my place that I always go to in Los Angeles. It's called
Yep.
the Rainbow Room. It's right on Sunset, right next between the Whiskey and the Roxy, and it's just a cool vibe. But whenever I'm in LA, you know, I can't possibly get with every person that I know, but on like a off night, maybe a Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, I'll just shoot out a mass text, email, DM, like, hey, I'm in town, Rainbow, Monday night, 8 o'clock. And I think the last time I was there, we took a big group picture, and it was, I don't know, like 65 people or something like that. But it was just the mix of, you know,
Yep.
from, you know, directors to actors to porn stars to
Yeah.
DJs to agents to childhood friends, comedians, and, you know, I'll have conversations. I'm like, how the hell do you two know each other? And how did you guys do that?
Yeah.
Like, well, remember in '06 when we were, I'm like, no, but awesome, you know.
Yeah.
So it's fun. It's great to see, you know, connect people and you know, have a bit of a vision like, oh, those two could really do something together, and think a little bit out of the box, and
Yep.
and again, just helping the next generation be able to, you know, put on an artist, a city, whatever it may be, you know.
Yeah, no doubt. And do you ever? I mean, who have been some of your favorite people they've gotten to work with over the years?
You know, man, there's so many. You know what? Actually, here's one of my Opio
Okay. Opio.
from Souls of Mischief just texted me.
Okay.
And that's actually kind of a funny story because, you know, I've been doing this for 27 years now.
Yeah.
And I saw Eminem open for Souls of Mischief
Yep. Wow.
in the mid 90s at Alvin's, and I was probably 16 or something. And then, you know, I ran into a couple of the Souls of Mischief guys throughout the years, but just
Yep.
quick in passing. And then this past April,
Is it the Blind Pig, right? Or
no,
oh.
they played the Blind Pig, but I
Okay.
wasn't able to make it.
Yep.
But this was in April. It was Souls of Mischief, The Far Side, and Cypress Hill. And Trick, we set up a couple of interviews with Trick. He interviewed Be Real and The Far Side, and then we were in the catering area in Opio. Shout out to Opio from Souls. He walked by, and I was rapping with him for a minute. Told him about I was at the show when Marshall opened for him,
Yeah.
and then we started kicking it for a minute. And Trick was with us, and And then me and Trick we were chopping it up with him, and we were kind of telling some stories. And Trick earlier that day was kind of telling me like who his favorite artists were and inspiration. And when I was talking to Opie, I was like, "Yo, this is like my Ice Cube or my Ice-T." Yeah. And Opie was like, "Oh, I don't know about that. No, I grew up in Ann Arbor. I was just skating and like this." And then Trick was like, "Listen, cause Mikey's been around every artist, celebrity." And I never seen him talk to a rapper this long and get this excited about talking to a rapper. And and it was funny. We were kicking it, and then we ended up exchanging numbers and became friends. And he was like, "Man, you and Trick's stories are crazy." And I'm like, but I guess when you take a step back and you're like, "Yeah, we've been through some kind of crazy shit." But just it's kind of funny to, when some of the people that I've looked up to, think our shit's crazy, but just something like that, that's cool. I don't care who a person is or whatever. Mixmaster Mike from the Beastie Boys.
Oh yeah.
We became great friends, and I was a huge Beastie Boys fan. And that's like my brother now, and he came DJ'd last week at my birthday party, and it was a vibe. It was an event, so developing relationships with some of the people that you were a big fan of, and I'm still a fan. I mean, I'm a fan of Sada Baby and Skilla Baby, but people that as a kid and as a teen, even before I got into the game, developing like personal relationships with folks like that. That's cool. That's fun. Because I don't care what level somebody's on, we're all human beings. Like I've seen, the saddest billionaires, the loneliest people, or I've seen the brokest artists, the most happiest, it's all a state of mind. But, you just really learn to learn people.
Absolutely. And how did you develop your relationship with Trick?
So I met Trick through Proof. So I knew about Trick and the Goon Squad. I heard the rumors, and then I saw the DVD, the Street Life DVD that my man Donnie put out. And Trick was not to be fucked with. And then I was actually training to do this Everlast concert. I was training for Live Nation. It was before it was Live Nation. It ultimately became Live Nation, and there was an incident that allegedly was Trick and the Goon Squad. And saw it in person, and it was crazy. But Trick had a song called "My Name Is Trick" that came out on the radio, and it was getting tons and tons of rotation.
For sure.
And Proof was like, "Yo, Mikey, put Trick on all my shows." So I started putting Trick on all the shows, and then I remember one night we were at St. Andrews, and Trick was like, "Hey, Proof, man, who's getting you all these shows? Who's doing all this shit for you?" And I heard him and saw it, and I literally tried to like duck and hide behind the bar. I'm like, "Oh no!" And he was like, "Yo, nephew," he's like, I need to holler at you." I'm like, "Fuck." Like, all right.
Yeah.
So him and his brother, met up with him and his brother Diesel. Shout out to Kamal Hassan, who's killing it in the 2B world and the movie world right now. He's killing it. I love seeing it. But Trick was like, I want you to become my manager, and I'm like, fuck, I can't tell this dude no, but I don't want to get into some crazy contract. So, I just said, how about we give it 3 months, and we negotiated a management commission rate, and 24 or 5 years later, here we are.
That's awesome. So just from that initial trial, it was like, okay, this is going great. Obviously he beat your expectations and stuff, and from there it just went swimmingly. Yeah,
look, 25 years with anybody is a roller coaster.
Of course.
From murder trials and funerals to international peace ambassadors to invitations to Mar-a-Lago, and everything in between.
Yeah, and I see that you're still like signing up and coming artists. Like I saw you had Polo Frost on the bill, and
Polo's my boy, and I'm managing Pretty Brayah.
Pretty Brayah, yeah, she's huge too.
She's doing her thing. She's a firecracker, and I see a lot in her, and I haven't really managed anybody new for years and years, but I think that she's got something special. She can rap.
Yep.
She's beautiful. She's a firecracker, and I wanna help her get into the same conversations as Nicki's and Cardi's and all of that, and she's got it. So it's fun.
Yeah. So when we look at someone like a Pretty Brayah, right, and then she already has her own she had her own discography already when she came out. Her own music and her own artistry, that kind of stuff. And then you come into the picture, right? How do you elevate her as an artist?
So it's everything is like a team effort, right? So it's like, okay, we've got her, and then with my experience, with my connections, and working on our vision together, it's a great, it's a great chemistry. And helping expedite relationships, or putting maybe her with another artist for features, or helping get her on the radar to some of my peers. It's a good, everything's a joint venture, everything's a team effort. So it's fun to take something and help blossom it, into a bigger, everything in life could get bigger. There's no top, because, that's why most people don't retire that are successful in that, because, you can retire and then, flying across the world and sitting on beaches gets boring after a while. It's in the DNA of successful people to do something else, to do something more. You could do it at your own pace.
Of course.
But yeah.
No doubt, right? So when it comes to the nature of promotion, right, whether it's songs or especially show promotion,
right,
how's that changed?
Well, I mean, there's all kinds of different fun tools for marketing shows and events now. I mean, there's so many outlets, whether it's Eventbrite and TicketWebs and Ticketmaster, and you get that data from previous shows, and maybe when Sada Baby has a show, you can use that same people that bought tickets to Skilla Baby and do email blasts. You can do, get, people to do social media content, and you can buy targeted ads, and you can get people to do creative videos to post it, and you can get, there's, social media influencers that do recap videos, that do promotional videos. So it's fun. It's fun to keep up with the times and to get creative with it. Do left field stuff, partners with, for instance, we're at the Cambria, downtown Detroit, and, they have a big social media following. So maybe there's, we'll take 2 tickets to a show at the Aretha Franklin Theater, and we'll do a contest on, with the collab post. So we'll do like a dinner at Chibo, a hotel room, and 2 tickets to a show at the Aretha. And now all of a sudden you've got the artist sharing it to their hundreds of thousands of people. You got the tens of thousands of people from between the hotel and the restaurant, and then you've got the venue itself with their social media, and then you got Mikey in the middle with my company and my personal page. So now all of a sudden, everybody's winning.
Absolutely.
Somebody's going to win that package. Somebody's going to tag up more people. Somebody's gonna, there's more eyes on the show, there's more eyes on the restaurant, there's more eyes and followers on the hotel. So, I like getting, things like that. I just couldn't come up with quick and make it happen,
No doubt, man. I mean, it's really like a jigsaw puzzle, really, with all the different parts that go into everything. And
you just gotta have a bit of a vision and then just make it happen, and again, maintaining those relationships, it's much more of an easier. I can text the manager of the restaurant, the manager of the hotel, the owners, text the artist and the venue, and it's like, cool, let's go, instead of having to, hey, I have an idea, I would like to meet with you, which it gets done, but it just, it's relationships, and being able to execute it swiftly and having that vision and putting it into reality.
No doubt, man. Are there any like smaller artists that you think we should be looking out for right now?
Ask him.
Mikey. Yeah, Mike, if you want.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Who should we be looking at, Mikey?
Crispy Life Kid from out of Flint.
Okay.
Kirch Dalla. He's rolled with like Sada's crew a lot.
Okay.
He's on Sada's show tonight as well at the Diamondback.
Yep.
And then there's a lot of people like Babyface E from Flint.
Yep.
He's on the rise right now. Like BFB the Pac-Man.
Okay. No, he's sick. For real.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something, Mikey. I mean, I was kind of talking about this with your dad too. Like, you're always at so many of these shows. Is that something like, what do you envision yourself doing when you're a little bit older? Like, do you see yourself being
I see, like stepping
him?
into my dad's role.
Okay.
Of his job when I get old enough to officially like take over the family the company.
And he
Barco.
retires.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's sick, man. And I mean, I like saw your Instagram. I think you followed me a while ago off like that Bizarre video.
Yeah, in like July.
And yeah.
I saw a Bizarre and I was like, oh, it's my dad's. That's our guy.
Yeah, for sure. And I see, like, I'll go to your page and I'm seeing, like, Ice Cube, again, like, Babyface, like, Sada Baby. I see you in the Sada Baby music video. What's your relationship like with a lot of these artists?
I mean, I'm cool with Sada. Like, Sada invited, like, me and my dad out to a couple events and stuff. Hung out with Sada.
For sure. And how does it feel for you to be, like, because a lot of these times you're the only kid at all, like a lot of these shows, or especially backstage, right?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's like not too many other kids get to experience this, and when I do get to bring one of my friends to a show, it's cool to see them experience. Away. Yeah.
Nice, man. And is hip hop really your main genre as well? Yeah,
it's my main genre, but I listen to a lot of different types of music as well. Like I listen to like a lot of R&B sometimes. Listen to like country a little bit, do a little bit of everything.
Okay, for sure. And I know your dad has like quite a few clients, right? We're just talking about Trick and Polo Frost. What's your relationship like with them? Because I know sometimes it's almost like family. You guys see them at holidays. Yeah, they're like family. Yeah, that's awesome. What's your relationship like with Trick?
I don't know. We just like he's cool.
Okay.
I don't know. It's like family.
Okay, word, man. All right. You know what? We're at the end of the year, Mikey. So I mean, could you give a recap on how your year's been with all your endeavors?
We'd be here until 2026.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean it's been a great year. With my music artists, with the Headlights HipHop app. I'm partners in this medical company called Next Medical.
Oh wow.
Which is it's gonna cross over with a lot of the artists that I have. So you'll find out a lot. The people will find out a lot more about that in the next year in 2025. Brayah.
Huge.
We're off to the horses or the whatever the races.
Yeah.
The races with her now. We kind of got a clean slate.
Great.
With her and the situation that she's in, so it's been fun. She's been in the studio recording some stuff with some of the names that we've mentioned throughout this interview. She's been in the studio with Halva. She just put out a new single. It's doing great. So it's been fun. Polo and I are working on other business endeavors together.
Yep.
Trick and I got so much amazing stuff going on. Right. There's gonna be some people are gonna go, what the fuck? So I can't wait for that.
Let's go.
That to get going on a couple different levels. So, it's been great. Little Mikey's helping produce
Of
Trick's
course.
radio show.
That's sick.
Trick and I have got a few film projects in the works. I got a couple other film endeavors going on with a couple other artists and a couple huge Hollywood actor names. So it's fun, never dull moments. And, just being a single father and juggling everything, it keeps life interesting, So I don't really have many hobbies except for parenting and making shit happen.
And it's nice that you can kind of blend both of them too.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, there's sometimes, there's a fine line where it's like, okay, dad needs to do dad time too.
Yeah.
But no, it's great, man. I'm truly blessed, man, to have been able to do this for so long and continue to grow and teach my kids and teach others and help folks like you.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate it.
Always happy to help, man. There's nothing better than a feeling when you see something that you had a little bit of part of, and I don't need to take credit for anything, but just like, dang, it's great to see that I helped with a little something and see it turn into something bigger.
Yep. And Mike, if you got any final message for maybe someone who wants to be like a promoter or something like that, or someone to want to do what you do, if you had any words of inspiration there.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is if your heart and your head's telling you this is what you want to do, then do it. And you're gonna get told no 100 times.
Yep.
You're gonna get knocked down. You're gonna get knocked back down.
Yep.
But you just keep going. And and then ultimately become successful and you love doing it. It doesn't even feel like it's work, but you just got to keep going and keep developing relationships and keeping those. And if you fuck up a relationship, patch it back up. We're all human, and own up to when you mess up, and that's the best way to learn is by fucking up.
There you go. Well, guys, that was Mikey Eckstein. I really appreciate you coming on. Definitely.
Oh, man. Thank you for having me. This
Shout
is
out
awesome.
Mikey Jr. for coming on. Shout out Cambria. Shout out CreatorCon Detroit.
Headlights HipHop.
Yep.